friends, welcome to Lovin' Life's Journey DIY. I'm Chantel, and in today's video I'm going to be sharing several winter and Christmas decor projects with you that are quick and easy to make and still budget friendly. And before we jump in, I would like to say a big thank you to Cricut for sponsoring this video. So if you have watched my channel for any length of time, or if you've just watched even several videos of mine, you know that I love to create things from scratch using budget-friendly items, Dollar Tree items. But sometimes you want to create something and you don't have a lot of time. And so in this video, I'm going to be giving you some tips and showing you some ideas of things that you can pick up to use for a decor project that you can still make, but it's still going to be very budget friendly and it's going to save you a lot of time. So let's jump in and get started. The first project I will be making is this fun farmhouse winter sign, and I really love how this turned out, and it was so easy to make. So if you have the time and some scraps of wood or even like foam board from Dollar Tree, you could make this sign. However, I picked this one up at Hobby Lobby and the regular price was $14.99, but I got it half price. So $7.50 plus tax, and it is all ready to go. All I need to do is add my embellishments, and I'm going to show you how quick and easy it is to do with the Cricut. For this project, I am going to use a pre-made design that is already in Cricut Design Space. I'm going to search Farmhouse Winter and see what kinds of things come up. And I love this first one that comes up is perfect, but as you can see, there are lots of different designs to choose from. And so I'm going to go ahead and select that first one and add that to my project, and I'm going to then size it to the size that I need it to be. And I love how it has the measurements along the top and the side, so I can see exactly how big this is going to be when it cuts out. So I'm going to be using the Cricut Maker 3, and I am loving this machine. It does so much. It will cut over 300 materials, things as thin as like crepe paper, all the way up to thicker materials such as chipboard and leather and even some thin woods. And so I am really excited to use it for cutting these different materials. But today for this project, I am going to be using some smart vinyl. And a thing about this machine that I love is that it doesn't require a mat. You can just use your smart vinyl right in the machine with no mat. And today I also have Cece supervising my work. Really, she couldn't care less, but she likes hanging out with me. So for this project, I am using the removable smart vinyl. Like I said, the smart vinyl is what you can use without a mat. So I'm just going to load my smart vinyl directly into the machine with no mat, and I think this is amazing. And then I am going to cut out my design. So when I choose Make It in Cricut Design Space, it's going to ask me if I'm going to be using a mat or not, and so I'm going to choose without mat. Then it's going to ask me what kind of material I'm cutting, and I'm going to select Smart Vinyl Removable. And since I have a new blade in my machine, I'm just going to go with the default pressure, but you can choose more or less pressure if you would like to. When it's done cutting, I'm just going to unload my material from my machine, and then I'm going to trim off the part that has my design on it, and then I will weed my design. So weeding just means to remove all of the vinyl that you do not want, that is not part of your design. And so I'm going to peel this carefully back, and then I'll use my weeding tool to pull any of those little inside areas of the letters or the design. Once I have my design all weeded, then I'm going to take some Cricut transfer tape and I'm going to cut a piece that is just right about the size of my design, and I will peel the backing off of this and then place it carefully over my design. I usually start at one side and then pull the backing back to stick it down across the design, trying to make sure that I get as few wrinkles or bubbles as possible. And then I'm going to use my Cricut scraper tool just to smooth that all out, get out any wrinkles or bubbles, and just make sure that it's all stuck down to the transfer tape. And then I will peel my design off of the backing. And if there are parts of the design that don't want to come up, just run the scraper tool over that a little bit more, and then it will pull up. Now I'm going to stick my vinyl onto my project, so I'm going to just position the transfer tape where I want it, and then press it down and go over it several times using the scraper tool. And once that is stuck down well, I'm going to slowly remove my transfer tape, and it just pulled off so easily and left my design on my project, and it looks amazing. Next, I'm going to create a little wreath using this wired jute and also a little piece of black and white checked ribbon and a couple of these holiday picks that I picked up at Walmart for just 98 cents each. So I picked up this wired jute at Dollar Tree, and I am just going to form a circle in the size of wreath that I want. Then I'm going to go around a couple of times and twist it together just to give it a little bit more thickness. If you're not able to find the wired jute, you could just use wire for this. It's just to form the shape of the wreath and to give a base to attach the greenery to. And I did use a little bit of hot glue just to secure the ends of this together so that it wouldn't come apart. Next, I'm going to take my greenery picks and I'm going to pull the branches apart, and then I'm going to start forming them around the wreath, and I will use some of this floral wire that I picked up at Dollar Tree to wrap around it to hold it all together. Once my greenery is all on, I am just going to add in the berries that were on those picks, and I'll attach these using a little bit of hot glue. Now I'm going to use my black and white checked ribbon to attach my wreath to my frame. So I'm going to figure out where the center of my frame is, and then I am going to hot glue one end of my ribbon on the top in the center, and then I'll loop it through my wreath and adjust the length so that my wreath is hanging right where I want it, and then I will glue the other end down and trim off the excess ribbon. I love how easy this project was, and I think it looks very high-end. I love that it is Farmhouse and it's for winter, not just Christmas, and I couldn't be happier with this project. If you are new to my channel, welcome. I am so glad you're here, and if you like Dollar Tree DIYs or DIYs done on a budget, then be sure to hit that subscribe button because we do a lot of that here on this channel. And don't forget to hit the bell and set your notifications so that YouTube will notify you when I upload new videos. For my next project, I will be making this lighted Christmas glass block, and I think these are so fun for the holidays. I'm actually going to be using a design that I purchased on Etsy and then uploaded into Cricut Design Space. And this design has 3 different colors, and so as I go to cut this, the Cricut Design Space is just going to walk me through the steps for changing my color of vinyl and cutting each of them out. And I love how simple this is and how it just walks you through each step. So I'm going to trim down my designs, and I am going to save the extra scraps because I can use those to cut out small things using a mat as well. So now I'm going to weed my designs, and something I noticed with this particular design is I made this fairly small, and it did a great job of cutting out the little tiny places. I was very impressed with that. And once all of my designs are weeded, then I'm going to add transfer tape to them. For my glass block, I am using this 5.5-inch square block that I picked up at Hobby Lobby. The regular price is $9.99. Again, I got it 50% off, so I paid just $5 for this. And they do have them in a larger size. I believe they're 8 by 8. And then they have some different shapes, rectangular shapes and things as well. So I'm just going to remove the sticker, and then I am going to make sure it's all nice and clean and wipe it with some rubbing alcohol just to make sure there's no grease or anything on there. And these blocks from the craft stores have these little plugs in the bottom where you can put the lights in. If you pick up a glass block from a home improvement store, they are not probably going to have that. Now I'm going to start adding my vinyl design, and I am going to put the larger black design on first. This is my main seine, and so this will be easiest to position. So I'm going to pull it off of the transfer tape, making sure that I get all of the design, and then I'm going to position it on the front of my block and go over it with my scraper tool and then peel off that transfer tape. And now I'm going to add in my other colors to complete this design. Now this is cute even just this way, but I am going to actually frost my glass with this frosted glass paint from Rust-Oleum. I picked that up at Walmart. I believe it was about $5. And I am going to spray right over the top of my vinyl. It won't change the color of the vinyl, but I just found it easiest to do this way, and I'm going to give this block about 3 light coats of this, letting it dry thoroughly in between each coat. And I forgot to show it on camera, but you do want to spray this with a sealer after the frosted glass paint is dry. Otherwise, that frosted glass paint wants to scratch off sometimes. So just to make it so it stays on, I would recommend giving it a coat or 2 of clear sealer. Next, I'm going to take some buffalo check ribbon. This is wired ribbon, and it's wide, and so I didn't want it quite this wide, so I'm just going to fold it in half, secure it with a little hot glue, and then I am going to put some hot glue on the bottom and attach it all the way around the side of the glass block, everywhere except where that hole is in the bottom where I'm going to put my lights. Then I'm going to use the same ribbon and make a bow to put on the top of my block. To secure the bow, I'm going to use a small zip tie from Dollar Tree and just put that through the center and cinch it up tight. And then I'm going to use some hot glue and attach that to the top of the block. The last step is to add some lights. I am just using a string of 20 lights from Dollar Tree. I picked this up last year and just had it in my stash. And so I'm just going to put those up inside the glass block, and they kind of just hold themselves in place pretty well. And then I'll thread the cord through the little hole in the plug that goes in the bottom. And I like these because you don't have to use batteries and you can just plug it in. I think these would make great Christmas gifts. They are quick to make and pretty budget friendly too. I know that you may be thinking that these projects are not budget friendly because of the cost of purchasing a Cricut machine. However, the return on your investment is amazing because the versatility of the Cricut Maker 3 will allow you to create professional looking decor pieces for your home or items to give as gifts, and it will pay for itself in no time at all. For this next project, I will be making this canvas wall hanging using the iron-on vinyl. And I really like the versatility in Cricut Design Space of being able to take designs and put them together to make a new design. And so that's what I did for this one. I found this little nativity and added it, and then I went and found the other elements that I wanted to add to this. So I want to put a star and some other animals, and then the words "Oh Holy Night." And so I just played around with this, adding in the designs that I wanted and resizing them, and it's just really easy to manipulate. So now I have all of my design elements in here, and I changed the color of my star to yellow so that I would have two different colors. And then I am going to select everything that's black, and I'm going to group that together and attach it so that it all cuts in the layout that it is in. So again, when I click on Make It, it's going to ask me if I'm going to use a mat or no mat, and I'm going to do this without a mat again. And this is something really great about the Cricut Maker 3. It will cut images up to 12 feet long using the smart vinyl and no mat. So if you want to do a larger design, it totally will cut it. Now, because I am doing this as an iron-on, I am going to make sure that I have the mirror setting on, and I'm going to choose Smart Iron-On as my material. For this project, I'm going to be adding the Cricut roll cutter to the front of my machine. This is just going to hold the roll of material, and then it also has a cutter on it, and this just makes it so much easier when you're cutting longer designs. So as you can see, it just sits right on the front there. It has little grooves that attach to it, and then you just place your material in there. I am again using the Smart Iron-On material. I'm going to be using the black and this metallic glitter. So for the iron-on material, I'm going to place it in the holder with the shiny side down. And you do want to make sure that you have a straight edge on the end of your roll so that the machine can detect the edges and give you a really precise cut. So after I cut the black, it's going to instruct me to put in my gold material, and this I did just cut a small piece and put it on the mat because it was just such a small design that I'm cutting out. It's just the star, and I did find that I had to do this a couple of times because I needed to increase the pressure on this. The glitter iron-on material is quite a bit thicker, so I increased the pressure. So now I'm going to weed my design and get it all ready to iron onto my canvas. And once the designs are weeded, there's no need to use transfer tape with the iron-on because it basically comes with its own transfer tape. So I picked up this canvas wall hanging at Hobby Lobby, and you could make this using a canvas bag from Dollar Tree and some paint stir sticks or wooden rulers, but if you're pressed for time, this is a great option. Regular price was $9.99. Again, I got it 50% off, so I just paid $5. To iron my design on the canvas, I'm going to be using the Cricut Easy Press, and so I have set it at 315 degrees, which is what the instructions for this iron on vinyl say. And then I've put the heat pad underneath and then warmed up the material a little bit. And then I am just placing my design and sticking it down onto the canvas. Once I have that where I am happy with it, I'm going to add some parchment paper over the top of it, and then I am going to press it for 30 seconds. And because this design is larger, I'm going to do it in a couple of settings. I love how you can set the temperature on the Easy Press, and then it has the timer, and you don't have to guess how long it's been. And I still found myself counting like a creature of habit, but I think I'll get used to not having to do that. Once I have my main part of the design stuck down, then I'm going to go ahead and add my star and iron that down as well. Then I'm going to let that all cool completely, and then I'll just peel off that top plastic layer, and my design is stuck down to the canvas. Next, I'm going to take several sprigs of that greenery that I used in that first project, and I am going to use a zip tie to tie it together in the center, and then I'm going to wrap some of the black and white checked ribbon around it and secure it with hot glue. Then I will just attach that to the top center using some hot glue, and then I'm also going to add in some of those berries as well on both sides of the little ribbon that I wrapped around the center. I love how this turned out. It was so easy to create this wall hanging and do the iron on using the Cricut and the Easy Press, and I am so excited to try out some more projects. And I'm certainly going to be using it for making Christmas gifts this year. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps my channel. And again, I want to say thank you so much to Cricut for sponsoring this video. I will put the links to the Cricut supplies that I have used in this video in the description box below, so you can check those out. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you all have a blessed day.